Hello, everyone. Hello, guys. How are you guys on today? Guess what time it is? It is story time with Miss Doris. But before we get started with our story, I would like to greet everyone all over the world. I would like to say hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some good night. Someone is going to bed somewhere in the world, but guess what? You are just in time for story time with Miss Doris. I have an awesome story for us on today. I'd like to say happy birthday to those of you that are celebrating your birthday on today. Special happy birthday to you, Rome. Happy birthday, young man. Happy birthday to you. I hope you are having a blast for your birthday. So to all of you that are celebrating a birthday on today, happy birthday to you. Shout outs to you, Lakeisha over at It's All About You. Elect Lady Dixon, how are you on today? Like Lady Burrs, how are you on today? J. Marie, Janelle, Erica E. Bags, Harmony, Tanelia, Amelia. Hello guys, how are you? PLCC family. Personally, like Lady Washington, I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Hello to you, Sister BJ, to all the men over at the Transitional House. Hello, how are you on today? Hello, TM, we missed you, TM. Well, let's go ahead on and get ready for that Storytime song. Remember, guys, when you're doing that Storytime song, make sure you are practicing safety first. I don't want you guys hurting yourself. So remember, practice safety first. Hello, Roma. Hello, So. Hello, Royce. How are you? There's that Storytime song. Yes! Storytime with Miss. It's Storytime. It's Storytime, and I have an awesome book for us on today. Robinson Crusoe. She'll read to you, sing to you, tell you all just what to do. I love that song. Tell you all just what to do. It's story time with Miss. It's story time. I can't hear you guys singing. I know you're singing really loud. It's story time. It's story time. I do own the copyrights to the lyrics of the song that's playing in the background. Well, guys, moms, dads, nanas, papas, go ahead on and have a seat while Miss Doris read you a evening story time live story on today. Robinson Crusoe. And this is a little classic paperback book. A long time ago, a merchant's wife gave birth to a beautiful baby boy named Robinson Crusoe. His father, a clever man, tried to convince his young son to study, but Robinson yearned to spend his life at sea. Before allowing Robinson to set sail, the merchant gave his son advice. The happiest man is the one who avoids both poverty and great riches during his life. Robinson promised to never forget the wise words of his father, no matter how far he might travel. Robinson first headed to London, where he came across a ship with a captain who promised every member of the crew a chance to earn his fortune. Robinson, forgetting the promise that he made to his father, jumped aboard. Robinson enjoyed his first couple of days at sea, but as they neared the Caribbean, the ship sailed into a horrible storm. The boat, unable to navigate through the immense wave and raging winds, was thrown onto the sturdy coast of a tiny island. Robinson, along with the other crew members, rushed to the lifeboats. As they roared, a massive wave crashed down, scattering Robinson and the crew into the waters. Robinson swam for his life, rising and falling with the great wave, until eventually he felt sand was beneath his feet. The sea carried him to sand. Safe on shore, Robinson lay down, panting. The ship and its crew were nowhere in sight. Robinson remembered his father's words to avoid both poverty and great riches, and felt ashamed. He didn't listen to this advice. He swore to himself and then and there that if he ever got off the island, he would go straight home to his family and continue his studies. For now, Robinson shook the sand from his clothes and set off to explore the land, the island. Down the beach, he stumbled upon the remains of a shipwrecked vessel. He found food and fresh water in the galley, as well as clothes and weapons. He also found Rex, the captain's loyal dog. The ship deck was strewn with pieces of wood and that had broken during the storm. Using the wood and ropes from the mast, Robinson made himself a raft big enough to carry all his treasures back to bay. With his newfound supply secured, Robinson pushed the raft away from the pillaged shipwreck. Just then he was splashed with water from behind. It was Rex. The dog jumped into the water and was swimming towards the draft. I guess I won't be alone on this island after all, Robinson said to Rex. Welcome aboard. Over the next few days, Robinson unloaded the goods onto the beach and to take the stock of his supplies. They had plenty of food and water, but still nowhere to sleep. Robinson dismantled the raft and dug the biggest logs in the sand. Then he went into the forest to chop down trees. The work was tiring, but Robinson knew it was important to have shelter from the island's unpredictable weather and animals. Before long, he built a small but sturdy cabin to sleep in. Exhausted, he fell asleep with Rex curled up beside him. Robinson and Rex lived well on the island for several years, all the thanks to Robinson's resourceful nature. He tamed wild goats and used the milk to make cheese and butter. He found barley growing in the fields and cultivated it so he had enough food to last the winter. He also befriended a parrot that he named Pole and taught it to speak. Then one day, Robinson was following Rex and Pole on the beach when he noticed something odd in the sand. It was a large footprint, a human footprint. Robinson froze suddenly, full of fear. He scanned his surroundings and listened intently for sounds of strangers in his distance. He was considering turning back to his cabin when he heard noises from further up the beach. Curious, he crept forward and peered over a large boulder. In the distance, Robinson saw a young boy surrounded by a group of warriors. We have to do something, Robinson said to Rex and Paul. Rex sprang towards the warriors. Bacon Robinson followed, shooting once into the air. Startled by the loud noises, the warrior ran back to their boats, leaving the boy behind. Robinson brought the boy back to his cabin and fed him some bread and some fruit. As the boy ate, Robinson decided his name should be Friday, the day their paths crossed. In no time at all, Friday became Robinson's loyal companion. Robinson taught Friday to speak English, how to care for the goats, and how to plant the barley seeds so they grew taller and stronger. After a few years living with Robinson, Friday spotted his homeland across the sea. "My village, I see it," cried Friday. Seeing a sparkle in his eye, Robinson decided they would build a boat strong enough to sail them back to Friday's village. They selected a gigantic tree to chop down as the base of their boat. It would take many, many months of hard work to create the perfect shape. Then one morning, as Robinson sat on the hilltop scanning the sea for passing ships, he spotted both a ship and a rowboat in the distance. He realized that the rowboat was headed straight for his island. In the rowboat were sailors from the ship, but they didn't look like they wanted to simply explore the island. They had the captain tied up. They were mutineers who wanted to leave the captain on the island and take control of the ship. With help from Friday, Rex, and Paul, Robinson managed to release the captain and tie up the mutineers instead. The only problem, the captain told them, was that there were more mutineers on the ship, and they had locked up all his loyal crew in the brig. Storytime. Robinson and the captain made a deal. If Robinson and Friday recovered his ship from the mutineers, the captain would grant them free passage to England as a reward. Excuse me. So Robinson and Friday came up with a plan to trick the mutineers. They had the captain break apart the rowboat to use the wood to make a fire on the beach. Then they roared out the ship. The plan worked. The beach fire distracted the mutineers, and in all chaos, Robinson and Friday managed to speak unto the ship unseen. With Robinson's rifle and Friday's spear, they quickly convinced the mutineers to surrender. After tying up the last mutineer on deck, Robinson and Friday hurried downstairs to release the ship's crew. The sailors were in shock. They couldn't believe that a castaway and a young boy had rescued them, but they were ecstatic to see their captain safe and sound. "Thank you for recapturing my vessel," the captain cried, presenting Robinson with lavish gifts of wine, food, and clothing. Robinson, remembering his father's wise words to avoid both poverty and great riches, graciously accepted the gifts after years of surviving on the remote island. At that moment, he couldn't think of nothing better than new clothes to wear, delicious food to fill his stomach, and free passage aboard the ship. As they set sail, Robinson, Friday, Rex, and Paul waved goodbye to the island before turning to face the vast sea ahead. Together, the friends were ready for the next adventure, a sea voyage to England. The end. That was an awesome story we read on today. Robinson Crusoe. I enjoy reading you guys a live story on today. Remember, don't forget to share Storytime videos with your family and friends. If you're not feeling well, always let someone know that you're not feeling well, and guess what? They will take really good care of you. And when you're out and about, make sure you are washing and sanitizing your hands at all times, because germs are everywhere. Germs are everywhere, and I don't want you guys sick for this school year. Don't forget, make sure we are still mandated in some areas to wear our mask. So guys, make sure you are wearing your mask. Don't take your mask off unless someone tells you to. Remember, we are still practicing safety first. I enjoyed reading you guys a live story on today. Hello and welcome. Take care. Well, today's story we read was Robinson Crusoe. So go ahead on and check out that live story time. So take care. Have an awesome evening. I hope you guys have an awesome day on today. Tomorrow is Wednesday. On Wednesdays, we read a Christian story. Hello, Shakana. Hello, Shaquavia. I hope you had an awesome day on today. Shakana, how was your day at school? I hope you had a blast. Well, go ahead on and catch this live video. It should be uploaded in about 20 to 30 minutes to our Storytime YouTube channel. Take care, guys. I love you guys. See you on tomorrow. God bless you all.